Abia State. All right, Abia State has been quite an interesting, time. We had quite an interesting scene this period, especially because after the entire election, collation of results was going on, and then for a second, Abia State said, you know what, the collation, INEC stepped in and said, you know what, you guys pause first. Why? Because there happened to be a bit of discrepancies, and the REC said, no, what I am seeing here is not what I have, and for that, we're not going further. And it was just the result of one particular local government, Obingwa local government. I'm sure you would have heard that in the news, where the resident electoral commissioner is saying that the number of results that some parties are pulling out does not even tally with the number of accredited voters. So what is happening? How were these figures gotten? How were they manufactured? How did they come in here? If you look at what BVAS has given you as to the number of accredited voters, it doesn't marry with the numbers that we're having. So one would want to even ask, so if we take some moment or a minute to scrutinize the entire election result, are we going to notice any of these discrepancies? I don't know for other states, but this was what played out for Abia State. Let's take a listen to Professor Ninaya Otti while she was talking there.
Protocol. The day is fast spent. For the records, it has become expedient for me to reiterate my guiding principles since I started collation activities for the Abia State governorship election on Sunday, 19th March 2023. 1. I am Professor Mrs. Nena N. Otti Ni Ibemo from Afibo, Ebonyi State. 2. I am the current Vice Chancellor of FUTO, that is, the Federal University of Technology, Owerri. 3. Democracy remains the best form of government. And democracy is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. It is the best form of governance. 4. I have spent the better part of my adult life in pursuit of the high ideals of good governance, which includes, but are not limited to, the following: the rule of law, transparency, accountability, inclusiveness, etc. I shall stand squarely, unapologetically on these principles.
I would save us the rest there, but you did hear what she said, and affirming that she's going to stand unapologetically to her guiding principles. It's a delight to let you know that Labour Party won 10 local government areas in Abia State. 6 local governments were won by PDP, and the Young People's Party won 1 local government area, and that's how the results went in Abia State. So just before we go on with those results, or begin to analyze what will be awaiting the governor, do I keep saying president-elect? The governor-elect of Abia State. I have with me in the house someone who will be joining me, put a perspective to what's been happening in Abia State recently. All right, so Lagos, I have with me DIG Azubuko Joel Oda. He is retired. He's also a lawyer, and he's the chairman of Police Microfinance Bank. As someone who's been at the helm of affairs in security in Nigeria, I'd like him to help us break down some of the stuff that have been happening, because it was almost a breakdown of law and order. A tiny little bit, Abia State was almost getting to that verge of that just before that announcement was made. We also hear that some other states are boiling at the moment, but let's just pay attention to that. Good evening, sir, and welcome. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's start with security before we go to economy, because there's a lot to talk about economy. It may not just look like it's so much merriment for the governor-elect, because it looks like, okay, you have won the election and there's a lot of task waiting for you because Abia State hasn't enjoyed good governance for a very long time. But let's start with security. Abia State has also been in the news for a while as it concerns security. And there was actually a time that kidnapping and all of that almost became a norm in that part of the state. What do you see that may happen differently in Alex Otti's governorship or reign as a governor?
Thank you very much. Talking about security in Abia State, or generally, we have to start with what happened in Abia State.
Okay.
Between the 18th, the day the election was, the governor.
On the 18th of March?
Yes.
Till date?
Yes.
Because every other state have gotten their results.
The first thing I want to say is that with everybody in Abia State and the country should thank God for the returning officer, who is not only God-fearing, she was not ready to brook any nonsense. The second thing I want to say about security also is that during in that election, we have to thank God for BVAS. We have to thank God for all the uploadings. We have to thank God that it was no more business as usual. Because the people that caused the problem in Abia State, we are thinking that they will still do it as business as usual.
As usual.
They will wait. The governor comes from Obingwa, and they will wait. When all the results have come, they will now go and thumbprint and then come and present.
For record purposes, why is Obingwa local government area very peculiar? Because it happens to, this has happened, like, I think this is about the third time this is happening in an election
That's
cycle.
what I am telling you. That's because they want to create the impression that they have large population. And Obingwa is just one of the local governments in the Abia South senatorial.
Is it the biggest local government?
And it's not.
Is it like the Alimosho? Is it like the Alimosho of Lagos State?
No. You see, you have Abba itself.
Okay.
You have Abba. What they are posting is even bigger than the Abba. The Abba, where you have the real population of people. So we have to thank God for the BVAS, and we also have to, like I have said, we have to thank God for the returning officer who wanted to do the right thing. And we also have to thank the INEC, because the INEC did the right thing. That's talking about security.
So
and
do you
finally,
think that sorry for continuing. Do you think that the actions of the returning officer and INEC itself helped to curb the breakdown of law and order?
This is what I am saying. I'm talking about security.
Fantastic.
I'm just mentioning all the factors that brought about the control of what would have been a mayhem in Abia State.
Okay.
Because
awesome.
Because people would have risen up in insurrection. There is no doubt about it. Because when you see this kind of thing happening brazenly, you cannot control it. That's why I'm saying the INEC did the right thing. They went to Abuja. They insisted on checking out the results to make sure that the correct thing is done, and then they sent them back to Abia, to Umuahia, to do the final collation, and that's what we have seen, witnessed today. And so why I'm saying all these things is that the right thing has now been done. If you go to Abia State today, all over every local government, even all the local government, people are rejoicing, people are holding rallies, thanking God, and all those things.
I've seen videos.
So when yes, and there wouldn't be any problem at all, because what has happened in Abia State is a turning point, because the state has been, yearning for a change because of the misgovernance in that state. And I wouldn't say much about it, but people know what I am saying. A lot of people that know Abia State knows that Abia State is, is one of the worst governed states in the country. Where the governor, the present governor there will be telling people that one of his achievements is the establishment of a cinema cinema halls. So that is a terrible thing.
All right, so talking about worst governed state, there is a lot of work to do for Alex Otti, especially, but people think that he has, the capacity to handle it, especially considering his financial background as a former MD of Diamond Bank or chairman of Diamond Bank. So he's got quite a wealth of experience to be able to handle it. So let's look at development or developmental strides in Abia State. Yeah. Abia State has almost sunk in development.
Thank you.
There is almost no presence of infrastructure, from roads to other infrastructure. There's almost no job, no employment whatsoever in Abia State. Let's start with job creation. Abia State is currently the 32nd state that is with the highest level of unemployment.
Yeah.
Meaning that it's just about five states that are higher than Abia State in employment. I'd like to bring in Mukhtar Mohammed in that. Mukhtar, good evening and welcome. Thank you for joining us. Apologies that I'm taking you on the spot in this conversation. Thank you so much. So I just told him Abia State is suffering as the 32nd most unemployed, or the 32nd state with the most level of unemployment in the country. It is a big one, and a new governor has just emerged, governor-elect, and he'll be taking over the mantle come 29th of May. What magic or miracle can he perform?
Well,
as a finance person.
Well, the good thing about Alex Otti is that he's not new. He has been trying to be the governor of Abia State for a while now.
Yes.
So we expect him to hit the ground running. And I'm sure he has his blueprint for Abia, and he must have known all that he's going to face. When you look at Abia economy as a whole, it's an informal economy, and that's what makes it interesting. And when you are a governor of an informal economy, you need to be innovative enough to get the people be on your page, especially in building revenue. And because when you say of unemployment in Abia State, it has to do with what kind of innovation has the previous government been able to create. Because, like I say, it's an informal sector, a civil service. How many people can they employ in the civil service? So it's an informal economy, and the good thing is that they have a governor now that is also you can say, somebody that's been in the business phase, somebody that's helped grow a lot of business in Abia State. And I'm sure the people are happy for that. And so he will come in there and begin to see how he can use what they have. But it's a tough task in terms of employment creation, because you need to begin to see how you can attract investors into Abia State. Abia State happened to be the manufacturing hub of Nigeria, Abba to be precise.
Absolutely.
All years we've heard about that, but they've not been able to lynch on that. Remember, there was a time one of the presidential candidates told us that he would make Abia State the new, I've forgotten the word he used in terms of manufacturing products. So I think what he needs to do is build the infrastructure in Abia State. Like you said, Abia State share a border with Akwa Ibom State
and Rivers State too.
And Rivers State happen to have gone there. You see the road from Akwa Ibom, when you go by road, smooth,
beautiful. But once you enter
Abia, you
Mukhtar, flesh and blood did not reveal that to you. How did you notice that part?
Yeah, because I've been there.
Oh, wow.
So I think again, Abia State, if I get it correctly, I don't know where I'm right, is among the oil producing states.
It is an oil. It's actually one of the highest oil producing states within the eastern states.
And again, Abia State collect more federal allocation than any other state in the southeast.
Absolutely.
So definitely
one bear inside this
definitely that means the governor, the previous governors, I mean, when you talk about the previous governors, I don't want to mind words to say one of them is even now the new Emilio Con.
Oh yes.
Now it's now the new Emilio Con. Ojus Okalo. I think he also was the bedrock. I mean the bedrock of Abia problem, because just like Abia people are jubilating over their Alex Uti being their governor, was what they thought Ojus Okalo would do, being a private sector man. But he came up and messed the economy of Abia and made it one of the most corrupt states, most corrupt governor in the history of Abia State.
You're saying this in public reading?
Definitely. I mean, we have our facts. After that, he imposed his own governorship candidate on Abia people. Even when that guy was, the former governor was even charged for corrupting. He was even in prison, or being detained when they make sure he was his chief of staff to become the governor. And he in turn was working, the current governor was working towards making his own son the governor of Abia State. So I think Abia people, I must congratulate them. I mean, they stood. You can talk about BVAS, you can talk about everything, but you need to look at before they will come out and give it. They must have sensed the pulse of the people, realize that these people protected their vote, and there was no way for manipulation. And the only way manipulation happens in any election is when you don't have a lot of people coming out to vote. The Abians, for the name they called them, they came out in mass number to vote, and they voted and they protected their vote until the last minute. It was we must also salute the courage of the Abia State INEC, the professor,
electoral commissioner.
I mean, the professor. You see, that's why we could say that power should go to women. And even if we have had some women in powerful position that have destroyed our economy, but then
we have had men who destroyed our economy.
So we must commend her for her steadfastness and her boldness to stand for the truth. But I will but say congratulations to Abia State indigene, and also congratulations to Anegbon. I know him from afar, been one or two things, but he's an upright man, a focused man, a visionary man, and I hope and I believe that he will hit the ground running. That's what I just hope and believe, that he hit the ground running. He just have to hit the ground running, because the confidence, the hope that the people of Abia have on him is unprecedented.
All right, Sir DIG, let's go back to what does this win mean to the people of Abia State?
Well, it means a lot. It means a lot to them. Talking about the background of the new governor-elect. He's a very well-known person. He has brought a lot of, you were talking about employment. Through him, a lot of people were employed when he was actually in the private sector, working with the banks and so on. We know that he had a very focused manifesto of what to do. So, like my friend has said, he's going to hit the ground running. He already knows the problems that has been created, and he must be on a salvage mission. My friend also talked about the road between, the portion of the road in Abia State that connects to Akwa Ibom and some other states that are not handled. These are things that he knows the problems. Talking about Abba generally, since this PDP government has been on the saddle in Abia State, Abba as a city, as a business hub, as an industrial hub, as a commercial hub, has gone down the drain in a lot of ways. A lot of industries have left the place. A lot of businessmen that have a small scale and medium scale enterprises and industries, they have left to greener places where where they are doing their businesses. And I think with the way Abia State people have brought in somebody like Alex Otti, we are going to see a lot of improvements in terms of infrastructure. He has seen all these things. Abia City needs a lot of road building and so many things. If you talk about health, there is no hospital in the state that is working. The only hospital maybe that is working is the FMC in Umuahia, which is a federal establishment.
Could that be the hospital where the governor said that he gives them 5 women who put to bed 500 naira?
No.
And that's a good achievement for them, because, I mean, it will help them enter Keke back home after having a child.
It's not even that hospital. Okay. What he was saying, if you look at it, you will find out that there is no, that he was just trying to defend himself. But we are talking about the reality of the health system in Abia State. People in Abia State, they leave Abia State to go to Enugu or even to Ebonyi to consult, to see doctors. Nothing like that in Abia State.
Whilst almost every community should have a health center.
In Aba, you have a general hospital that has, been left comatose and so on and so forth. He has a lot of things to do. I've talked about roads, I've talked about hospitals, I've talked about industries and so on and so forth. So he knows what to do, because knowing where he is coming from, definitely he will hit the ground running.
Mr. Mukhtar, Abia State is one of the least developed states in Nigeria and one of the least developing states in Nigeria, but one among the first 10 states, or among the first 10 indebted states. How does Alex Otti and handle this debt issue? Because there's so much to do. He'll be servicing the debts, both in naira and in dollars, and then of course he has tiny federal allocation to deal with, and he has job creation to handle. I mean, what do you think he can do?
Like I say, it's going to be a curious task for him, but I believe he has the pedigree to turn things around for them. When you talk about debt, for you to be given debt, that means you have the capacity to pay, both local or foreign. So, you remember that debt, especially foreign debt, does not just come to the governors don't just get foreign debt. They have to go through the National Assembly, through the Minister of Finance also to approve those for you to get foreign debt. So they must have looked at your assets. Now, Alex Otti, like I say, he has worked in the financial sector. So I think what he will be doing will be looking at those debts. Some of those debts, when you get to see them, you realize that sometimes they have even finished paying those debts, and yet they are paying for some other fictitious instrument that are put there. And so that is why you see most of the governors who always want to put their own stool there to cover up for such things. And I'm sure that with the levels, he could go for debt resettlement and said, okay, you know what, let's resort to this debt. Let's see how we can pay. I need to do this for my people. I need to do this for my people. I still need to pay your debt. I always tell people that businesses that you are owing debt to a businessman, the businessman too is praying that you don't die, so that you can pay.
So that you can pay, because if you die,
so if you make the state not able to, not to be able to develop their own cash cow to be able to pay the debt, I think it will be a big challenge. I think where I think the governor-elect Alex Otti may have a problem is in terms of revenue generation, which I know he knows what to do. But now, how much will the people receive that ingenuity that he will bring in the area of revenue generation? Because when you look at some of these business, the informal business, they rarely pay tax. And so I'm sure he's going to come up to see how he can improve the IGI of the state. And so that will be his first task, and then he will meet a lot of challenges, something that you are not used to doing, and now all of a sudden they're telling you to come and pay tax.
IGI to revenue in IGI statistics in to allocation, federal allocation is about just 20 something percent in Abia State. So that means over 70% of their income is from the federal allocation.
So he needs to improve on that, and like I said, he has too much of the informal sector in Abia. He needs to come up with something. And I said, if he has to come up with something, being the governor, the man of the people, that's why I say he has to hit the ground running. Every policy he tries to bring in, the people will believe in it. So it's for him to cash into that and begin to let the people see what their IGI is doing. If you are beginning to see that our roads are fixed, our infrastructures are getting better, our youths are having job, we're building security, I can move at any time of the day, then you know it's taxpayers' money that is working, and they will be able to appreciate him for that. I think the major task for him will be how to build their IGI so that he will be able to service this debt, and he will need the cooperation of the people, and especially the business people, which is, like I said, the informal sector in Abia State.
All right, Lagos State phone lines will be opening officially. Let's get to hear you. The Abia State result has just been announced, and from what it is right now, from the governorship election, we have APC clinching 15 states, PDP 6 states, NNPP 1 state, and Labour Party so far 1 state. We're still awaiting the result from Enugu. We do not know what that outcome would be, but this is exactly what you have right now across all the states. What do you think this win would mean for the Labour Party? Understanding that, I don't want to say it's a rookie party, not necessarily a rookie party, it's been there, but understanding that it's a party that is just starting to gather its momentum, or that started gathering its momentum within the past 8 months. What should this win portend for the Labour Party? Understanding that they also did create quite a landmark in the National Assembly and most states of assembly, including Lagos State House of Assembly, Labour Party, you know that. So what does this win mean to the party? Phone lines are open, Lagos 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903, 0700 903 9039. If you're watching from YouTube and you're in the diaspora, you can join us via WhatsApp call. The WhatsApp number is 0700 903 9039. Hello, good evening to you.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, a very good evening to you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Flora, calling from Unipan.
Flora, you're welcome. Go ahead, let's hear you.
Yeah, congratulations to Adians. I'm so happy when the result was announced. Because that OKZ was of a man. He didn't do anything in that state. And he was trying to impose another person that will cover his heels to the Abians. But today, the Abians has spoken, and no thumbs or what stops them from having the person they have in mind. For them, the man is going to do well. I congratulate them. Your guests, they spoke very well about, the people that have ruled.
Hello.
That is now even trying to clinch Senate President. You will not see. You should go and sit down. He didn't do anything. Let him go and sit down. I'm happy for the audience. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. Thank you. Lagos phone lines are still open. 0700 903 9700 903 9039. Labour Party wins 1 state, and of course, we do not know if they have another state to go. We can't tell. I have this message from His Royal Highness BC Nwoko. He says, "I am so much impressed with the outcome of governorship election in Abia State. Professor Mrs. Otti is my hero. Congratulations to Ndi Abia." That's what he says. Hello, good evening to you.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening to you.
My name is Nenna.
Nenna,
Yes, Nenna, the namesake of the INEC woman. Yes, so we are good people. Ooh, I am so happy. I am so happy for Abia. So
I see. I hear that in your voice.
I was born in Abba. Abba is the best place in this country. Let us use Okalo and the other. And what do they call this last one? Ipazu. Spoil Abba, my dear. I'm so happy of Otti. I have called Abba people. They say, yes, so it is true. I am so happy. Otti Sokalu want to become another Miloko, number 2. They no go give him that, waiting to the column. That is Senate, you no go get him. Onye na-egbu nwanne ya. Abba, Umuahia, for 8 years this man was there. Nothing was done. It is as Mbakwe left it. I told you I am 65 years now. Nothing was done in Abba. In what did they call it? Umuahia. Umuahia is as it is. That, when he was in Abuja, he said, I will see if you make me the kind of secretary president, I will become this. I will make sure I touch every area in our life. Go to Abia, go to Abba. Nothing is happening. Very dirty. Whereas it was cities like Japan. These 3 people, Theodore, Nkaka, they did not do anything. I am so happy, my sister. God bless you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yes, oh.
Thank you. I see that excitement in her voice. So, just for your information, a lot of women don't call me in on this show. I have more men calling, but it's so surprising to see women calling in now, and sharing their excitement and jubilation over the election. That's to tell you what the expectation of the masses has been so far concerning Abia State. It's such a pity that I would have to be speaking about a state that is should be one of the richest states in Nigeria by the virtue of its oil producing status, and it's very embarrassing. Let's look at the lack of infrastructural development in Abia State. From, I don't even want to mention electricity, because there are communities that have not seen light in Abia State for over 10 years. You can take me to the bank for that. So there are communities that they practically do not have a drivable route to access those communities, and there's a dearth of infrastructural development in Abia State. And what have the successive governors been doing with the state's funds, sir?
Okay, thank you very much. In Abia State, for the past 23 years,
1999 till
they developed a sharing formula. All these the governors, they have godfathers, and they create a sharing formula. So what I'm trying to say is that Dr. Alex Otti is coming in as governor without a godfather. He's coming in as a governor without anybody breathing down his neck and claiming that he's the one that made him governor. If this person they call Anyiwe had succeeded to become governor, then the sharing formula would have continued. So there is no more going to be sharing formula. What I am saying is that, yes, Abia State receives the higher allocation from the federation
within the southeast,
and these monies, once they come, they will be divided to all these people.
And payment of salaries have been an issue, because doctors have been complaining.
No more salary payment. The general hospital is closed down in Abba, because no payment of salary. Schools are being owed. Polytechnic is being owed, and all university, they are not receiving their salary. So what I am saying about Alex Otti is that he's coming in without any godfather. So, and knowing his background, where he's coming from, and himself knowing the problems, and himself preparing a manifesto that he will follow, I'm telling you that he will hit the ground running, and the difference will be clear. He will be well set out to do what he will do to salvage Abia State from the quagmire that Abia State is in now. He knows the problem, and I think the only thing we have to do in Abia State is to pray for him to put the right people that he will supervise to do whatever, because the problem in Abia State is corruption everywhere, with the way the resources of the state is being squandered, you don't see them being used for what they are meant for. You see people that become rich overnight because they are in politics. These are people that they have no visible means of livelihood until they became this or that. So I think with Alex Otti, who is an economist, and a well-known financial person, he knows what to do in Abia State.
All right. Talking about knowing what to do, Mukhtar Mohammed, there's this cash crunch issue by the CBN that is almost crippling the small and medium scale businesses in the country. And if we look at the economy of Abia State, you had mentioned that is purely, thrives on these kind of businesses. How do we see businesses begin to crop up and manage based on this CBN policy? We are going to attend to the case of interest rate again, because manufacturers will be crying and lamenting now because of the interest rates. But let's have you share your thought on that.
Well, he's an entrepreneur, and I think one thing he needs to do first, we need to talk about the policy. The policy itself is not a bad policy, but the implementation of the policy has been a problem. And again, going digital for every business is good. It also reduces overhead costs. But because of the way this policy was implemented, that's why we are having the challenge, because it was not implemented based on an economic term, it was implemented both by political or security reasons. So we are having those challenges. Now, I think a governor that they believed in, an entrepreneur, an economics, he will be able to enlighten his people the beauty to move their business to the next level, which is begin to do the global best practices of not just carrying cash. It's so much not good for you. But then again, it's not enough to not starve them of cash. Or I didn't say starve them, starve them of cash. I think that's the right word, or confiscate their cash. Because what the CBN have done is confiscate people's cash and keep it. It's not mopping up. It's confiscating our cash. If an economy that in December had a cash of 3.25 trillion, and then in by this time now we're having an economy that has 1.something trillion.
Not even up to a trillion. I think about 900 billion naira.
In an economy, what do you expect from that for that kind of economy? That means it's like when you say the stock market has been wiped up for 1 trillion. That means you are going to have a lot of people that are not going to have investors in some developed countries. That means you have a lot of people committing suicide. Do you know what it means to wipe out and you are talking about 2 trillion? We are talking about reducing the cash flow by 235%. It's painful. It's very painful.
So Mukhtar, you know why I had to raise this issue? Before the introduction of this policy, while CBN had announced it, we were talking on this show about the policy, and you had said that it's a good policy, but if it fails, then Nigerians will suffer for it.
Exactly.
And we are suffering. The economy itself generally has lost over 20 trillion naira, and we're in debt to the tune of 77 trillion naira. But we have lost 20 trillion naira because of this cash crunch. What else do we have to suffer? We also have subsidy removal that is coming up in June, in just less than 3 months' time. What else? What are Nigerians expected to see generally?
You know, I'm an advocate of subsidy removal.
But it doesn't stop the fact that it may also triple inflation.
Exactly. But again, in other developed countries, like I said, when we're talking about subsidy removal, there is no government that does not pay subsidy in one area or the other to its citizens. No government, every government all over the world. But you must be paying subsidy in real time that will have impact on everybody. Let me give you an example. Our neighbor here, Ghana, they've stopped subsidy payment in petroleum products, but they have channeled it to other sector, energy. They are now saying, okay, we'll take care of some of
the lights,
the cost of electricity.
Mukhtar, we're suffering with light, so the cost is crazy.
So and when it comes to that, you are paying subsidy not only for the poor, you are both paying for the poor and the rich. So everybody is going to see the benefit of that subsidy. And when you take subsidy in an economy, when you are talking about taking control of power, then that means you'll be reducing the cost of goods and services in terms of production. A state like Abia State is the production hub of Nigeria. So by the time
ought to have been. By
the time you are now subsidizing their power and you are telling them to be more creative and they can produce more, they can become the China of Nigeria, of Africa.
Talking about power and Abia State, it's as if you just read my mind, because the federal government just removed, the whole thing about electricity and power from the exclusive list to the concurrent list. So that means that states will now have, the rights to create their own power and distribute their own power.
And that is where Abia State.
You think this is a big win for Abia State?
It's a big win for Abia State because of the governor, Alex Otti. He's a private sector man. He will be able to attract the right investors into Abia. He can say, okay, he will get people that will just provide power for the industrialized area in Abia State, like Abba. And he has, everything seems to be working for him. Because when you talk of that bill, any right-thinking investor that sit down with Alex Otti will want to invest in Abia State in the place of electricity. So definitely, that is a plus for them.
And then we'll talk about transportation, because you will not manufacture and use it by yourself. You export and ferry to other parts. So how about this railway, devaluation and removing it from exclusive to concurrent list? Do you think it may also channel a good cause in transportation?
You see, all these things, when we are looking at all these things, it will come with a benefit, but it will come with a cost. So the people should always look at the benefit in the long term, the short-term pain that it will come with, because it's not in the business of government to be in business. So what you'll be seeing in Abia State, or what you'll be seeing in most states, will be a private sector driven economy. At that time, you see, because of a person like Alex Otti, can get businessmen come and establish a rail line in Abia, build and operate for the next 25 years. Or come and do the roads in Abba, one of the most busy road in Abba, and put a toll gate there and collect to and maintain that road for the next 25 years. And so there's a lot of pain that will come with it in the short term. So in as much as we are celebrating him, we should also know that we should also be ready to bear some of the pains that will come with the gain in future. So going back to subsidy and the cashless policy, I was excited about it, like you said. But I said, if we don't get it right, we'll suffer for it.
Have we gotten it right now?
We've never gotten it right, and we are not planning to get it right.
You say we're not planning?
Yes, because if you look at the body language of the CBN governor yesterday, he was not addressing any issue. He was so confidently talking. Let me give you a scenario. Remember, this same CBN governor told us that we have 2.3 trillion outside the banking space.
Exactly.
And we're able to recover
1.9 trillion.
Is it 9 trillion?
It's 1.9 trillion. He said
we are able to recover back into the banking space. Now we're looking for about 500 billion. He didn't tell us whether they've been able to recover that 500 billion before the election. So if you add that, if you want to look at it, that 500 billion is part of the, maybe part of the 900 and some 1 point something trillion that he says we have in circulation. So we might not even have we might be struggling with about 700 billion in our economy as far cash. So the CBN governor, they seems to be in a different planet. They don't, the informal sector is non-existent. A lot of businesses are folded up. People waste countless times in bank. They spend all their day in bank to collect 2,000 or 5,000, and the following day they are back there. You have created artificial scarcity of what you have control over. We are battling with scarcity in FX. We say we don't have control over it. Now what we have control over, we have decided to suffer the people. Look, don't get me wrong, mopping up of liquidity is part of how you used to control inflation. But what the CBN does for us is copy and paste. You just see something working in one place, you just come and copy it and paste. I like giving the Singapore experience. Singapore studies all economy in the world. The Singapore governor at that time study all the economy in the world and look, in Singapore we need to do two things right. What? Economic development and wealth creation. And they concentrated on those two things. And today they are one of the largest economy in the world. They didn't just copy and paste. The fact that America is hiking rate doesn't mean you should hike rate. So for me, I'm so pained by what the people are going through, and especially you have wiped up 22 trillion out of the economy.
All right, so DIG, the CBN governor has come to apologize to Nigerians for the difficulties they've been having or going through in running transactions, because of the cashless policy. So people have to run transactions. The people of Abia State, the man that sells something in area market, the local woman who has stuff selling in Alongongwa Road. How will that woman survive with the rise of failed transactions? How will any business survive in that kind of situation right now, considering what's happening? Do you see any kind of, the governor creating any kind of palliative measure that could help such businesses boost again?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, the apology that has been given by the central bank governor is a welcome development.
But it hasn't helped anything.
No, it's a very, very welcome development. Why I'm saying so is that when you see that you have done something and it didn't go very well, you have to tell the people that are affected by it. You have to apologize to them and then do what we call restitution. You have to do something to correct it, and I am very, very sure that he has a plan, or he has something coming up to make sure that this situation is redressed. As far as I'm concerned, that is what everybody is expecting from him, because if he only apologizes and nothing follows to ameliorate or to mitigate the hardships that people are facing, then the apology will have no meaning. And I don't think he will just give an apology that has no meaning.
All right, Lagos phone lines are still open. Let's have you joining on this conversation. 0700-903-903-903. Labour Party wins one state for governorship, and of course have swept through, have won quite a number of seats in the Senate, the House of Representatives, and the Houses of Assembly across the Federation. And we want to know what this win means for those who have been discouraged about the outcome of the election or how the election have been conducted. I do hope that this is a big win for those who have faced some sort of discouragement or the other. Phone lines are open. Let's get to hear from you. 0700-903-903. 903. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening to you.
How are they now?
We know they fine. We they fine. We they fine, but we know too they fine. Nedu, how are you?
I'm fine. I want to join the woman that first called.
Okay.
In her voice, she didn't say congratulations to Alex Otti. She said, congratulations to the people of Abia State. She congratulated Abia State people, Abia people for doing it. Because when Peter Obi is campaigning, he always said, I'm campaigning for you people through me. So I just wish Nigerians will understand the meaning of this winning and other winning, how the street is hit up with happiness, and some other winning where they do selection. We saw our greedy politicians who are now after the presidential election, we are now seeing people who are their best interest, who was opposing Obi, telling him it is not your time yet because they have agenda. People are fighting for president, then they are fighting for Senate president. How greedy men do we have in the southeast? Because you want to go for Senate presidents, and you are condemning your brother, telling him, I never see someone from southwest or from north who is telling their fellow people that it is not your turn, that you are not, that is not, that you are a good man. They are in their way. is a good guy, is a good candidate, but it's not yet his turn. It baffles me how they play politics in Nigeria. Anyway, your guests there, they are doing very good. They are analyzing it how it is. And my congratulations to people of Abia State. I mean to say, my mom was born and brought up there. And I believe in him, Alex Otti. I believe he will change a lot of things. I believe he will make the people of Abia State vote for him again, because now they are not voting party, they are voting individual.
Thank you.
Congratulations to people of my people.
Thank you.
Abia State.
Thank you so much, Nedu. Thank you. I appreciate you. All right, going back to the phone lines. Hello, good evening to you.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening to you. Go ahead. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Lagos State.
Okay. Can you help me turn off the volume of your radio, please, so we can have a better conversation?
All right, can you hear me?
Very well, I can hear you. So go ahead.
So all we want to say is congratulations to the people of Abia State.
I hear you on your congratulations, but you refuse to turn off the volume of your radio set, so we keep having that hold back, and it doesn't make for a very friendly conversation at all. Hello, good evening to you. Hello. Oh dear, I lost that. So this says, you can see the joy in people's voice. This is a true election and the votes of the people. I served in Abia State and I'm so happy for Abians. The real change has come and I want the governor-elect to please do not disappoint the people. Congratulations to him. Chris from Ikeja sent in that message. Chris, I do hope that the governor-elect hears you. Hello, good evening. Hello. All right, so what's going on now? Hello, good evening. Can you hear me? Hello. Okay, so if you can, please call back again. And then this message says, how are you doing, Precious? Congratulations to Abia people. That's the will of the people at play. That's democracy at work. What happened here in Lagos and Rivers was a charade and undemocratic. Emperor sent in that message. Going back to the phone lines. Hello, good evening to you.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening, sir. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Augustine and I'm calling from Mushi.
Augustine, you're welcome. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yes. Congratulations to Abia people. One thing I want to say to them is that enough is enough. You know the meaning of Ibazu? Ibazu
Don't ask me.
Ibazu means that this is the first and last. And God has answered their name by making the man being the last of the person that tormenting the Abia people. Congratulations to them once again. Good evening.
Thank you so much. Good evening to you. So there's this joy, there's this excitement in the atmosphere.
Very big joy.
What is going on? Let me go back to the phone lines because my phone lines are buzzing non-stop. Hello, good evening to you. Hello. Oh dear, I can't hear you. If you can hear me, hello. All right, if you can hear me, please do well to call back. And this message says, good evening, Double P's. I'm very happy for the Abians. Congratulations to them and LP Prepre. This is what would have been in other states if the civilian coup wasn't commuted in some of these states in the name of election. It's a pity. Barbages sent in this message from Oshodi. Hello, good evening, sir. Oh, ma'am. Hello. I do not like that I'm facing a couple of dropped calls. This is not good. Hello, good evening. All right, phone lines are still open. 0700-903-903-903. If you're watching from YouTube, you can call us via WhatsApp. It is 0700-903-9039. Hello, good evening to you.
Hello, good evening.
Can you help me turn off the volume of your radio set, please? Turn it off totally.
Okay. Good evening.
Yes, good evening to you, sir. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Prophet Emmanuel from Lagos.
Prophet Emmanuel, you're welcome. Go ahead, let's hear you.
Thank you. I'm so happy for Abia State. I'm from Imo.
Okay.
And I'm asking every other Imolite to pick that which they have done at Abia State. Let Imolite also do that in Imo State. We'll be grateful to God.
Thank you.
I pray for the governor elected too. He's a very nice guy. God will help him in Jesus' name.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. All right, so Sir DIG, let's go take a look at the House of Assembly, because the governor cannot work in isolation. He needs the support and courage of the House of Assembly, to work. Out of the 24 constituencies of House of Assembly, he has only 10 for Labour Party. YPP has 2, APC has 1. How do you see him striving? And the rest, of course, for PDP. How does he manage?
With the kind of person he is that I know, he has the sagacity and the mien to be able to handle the House of Assembly. It doesn't mean that if other parties are there, at least you have it's not only PDP people that
no, we have YPP, we have 2 YPP, we have 1 APC,
exactly.
And then the rest
so you see a lot of them, they will cooperate. If they don't cooperate, if they don't cooperate to do their job as House of Assembly members,
the reason I'm asking, the fear of impeachment. You know how it happens.
Well, they don't. Even where they had the numbers, they may not do any. Look, if you go back into history, when Peter Obi became governor in
Anambra State,
majority of the members of the House
he was impeached at some point. He was impeached at some point.
Well,
so that's the fear.
And what happened after that?
He went to court, came back again.
Exactly.
So,
but there are other examples which I cannot recall now.
You like to say something about this?
I think when you see Labour Party have 10,
yes, 10,
24.
YPP has 2, APC 1, then I think 11 seats for the PDP.
So it's close. So it will not be easy.
So the years cannot just have it at this time.
It's 2/3.
It's
So it's not like what Peter Obi had. Peter Obi had generally PDP, met a PDP national state House of Assembly, but in this case we have just one, and again the high level politics will play, and then I hope the governor-elect will be able to play that, because you know what I mean. The high-level politics, that's actually the problem. Private sector man, and
he knows how to.
And I hope that he will be knowing how to play, because if you have 10 to 11, all you need to do is to get the other 3 with you, and then you'll be able to get the speaker, and the once you have the speaker and the deputy speaker on your side, then governance is good. So I think he will navigate that water. And again, when you see. It's just like the Peter Obi thing is just saying, it's not easy for you to impeach a governor that is working and is also popular with the people, because the people will rise up and fight for their governor. So what I would advise Alice Otti to do is that the people love him, and once they start seeing his work, they will support it. There's a saying we say that some people can be PDP in the morning, and in the night they are APC. Or they are
that's Nigerian politics. So you're like a Democrat in the morning, in the evening you're a Republican.
So we could see some of these people that are saying, oh, they are there. They know. They themselves know that they need to win re-election. And they also need to support the governor, so that it can bring development to their people. And also, some of them also may be eyeing some political position in the near future. So it's all about politics, and that's why I like the politicians. When it comes to common interests, they have a way of coming down to the table to talk. When you see politicians begin to talk about religion, tribe, and everything, you begin to understand that they are trying to play those. They are the ones that are losing out. But once they are there together, they look for common interest. But the one that will losing out will be the one telling you, oh, religion, politics, but when you are inside there, they look for common interests.
All right, Lagos, phone lines are still open and buzzing. Let's take your calls. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Yes, good evening to you.
Good evening, this is Mr. Patrick calling from Vote.
Mr. Patrick, you're welcome. Go ahead. My name is Precious, and I have my guest in the building. Go ahead.
Okay, yes, I want to cheer the Abia people.
Oh yeah, now cheer them, cheer.
Because they have tried, they have shown their, they are good. In fact, I want to go short. They are good people, short. But that man has been trying for many years, and he got it to level. So about the house, there's no proof about the house. The house has to do according to governor because the people are behind the governor. So that's the problem. So if people are behind the governor, those house members must succumb to the governor.
The people are behind, so the house members must succumb to the governor.
Yes,
it doesn't work that way anyway.
It did Obi now. When Obi was there, it's only PDP. And Anambra State supported Obi. They have to succumb. Even some join that after. Yes, that's the thing.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
When the masses are behind the governor, you know what I mean? When the masses are behind the governor, the house member has nothing to do.
All right, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for calling. Lagos phone lines are still open 0700-903-903. And this says this gubernatorial success of the Labour Party is a solid footprint of the third force on political turf of the nation. Congratulations to Alex Otti, the good people of Abia State, and the Labour Party. Wari Layefa sent in that message. Do we think that this is a good win? Do you think that this Labour Party third force is becoming a thing? Because gradually, I don't know if you share same sentiments with me too, Mukhtar, it's looking more like Labour Party is now more of the opposition than PDP.
Well, in terms
have you started noticing that?
In terms of vocality,
exactly.
But in terms of numbers, the PDP still remain the.
I'm talking about being vocal and active.
But again, you must look at the space of the Labour Party. I mean, the age bracket of the Labour Party. They're the most vibrant youths. Most younger people are in that sector. And what I'm happy about was somebody, Femi Fanika, they was just. This, I think, in his tweets just some days ago.
He's been tweeting a lot.
And he was mocking them. He said, "They're obedient. How many states have you won?" So,
for a party that started actively just less than 8 months ago.
I think the obedient people should go back and begin to reply
remind him
that we have won one state.
No, you're not playing that politics. You're not playing that politics.
He said it on Twitter, and he said, "Dear obedient, how many up from all the noise that you won the presidential bill? How many states have you won?" He said it. So I think it's like where do you say that God was hearing and then God decided to shame him.
So DIG, if elections, we had a lot of returning officers or rec officers like Professor Nina, do you think that the results across the different states would have been what it is? I like to know, because a lot of people are of the opinion that election in some places were not exactly what it should be. Some said it's a charade. You heard the messages I read, and some say there was voter suppression in so many areas that ought not to have been, that would have changed the dynamics of the result if things were different. So do you think if we had people like the lady in Abia State, Professor Otti, that the case would have been different in some states?
Yes. Definitely. And you know what I said earlier on when I was commending about the Abia State governorship election, when I was commending the INEC. What they did is quite different from what they were doing before. What they will tell you is they will just call the result like that and then you should go to court. They would have they can even remove the woman and put another person to tell him to call whatever she sees and let the other people go to court. So this is a very good development, and I think it will help those that are even in courts to retrieve their mandates. That's what if BVAS will count and the IRV uploads and all those things.
So Mukhtar, 305 billion naira budgeted by INEC for this election, and over 117 billion was used for the BVAS. Do you think that BVAS eventually served the purpose that it was meant to serve? It was supposed to. Now some people are complaining it did and it did not in some areas.
For Abia people, it solved their problem. For Zamfara people, it helped them.
Yeah.
For Kano State too, we saw BVAS coming. Benue State, we saw BVAS working. So it's all about who is now is telling us about who is the INEC chairman, what integrity, I mean the resident electoral committee chairman. And remember that this woman is not the the INEC commissioner of that state. She was just the chief returning officer, and she did a yeoman job. And every other state we have chief returning officers that are professors like her, but they never stood for the truth. So it shows that corruption is not about your degree, it's your person. So we should begin to, it's not because you have so much degree that means you will go there and you do the work or you not be corrupt. So for me, I think BVAS did not serve the people well. The reason why a lot of people came out for the presidential election was because of BVAS. No, Nigerians do not have confidence in the electoral system. But we're made to believe that BVAS have worked in Osun State, and we saw how a sitting governor was on seat, and everybody said, wow, if it works there, then that's what's going to work. That is a game changer. And remember that a lot of politicians did not want BVAS to pass through. And we commended the president that he finally signed the Electoral Act and saying that BVAS is one means of returns of result. That is left for the lawyers to do. Because the instinct of that, they said also, thank God, sir, the DIG is also a lawyer. Because they said INEC has the discretion to use any type of formula, any type of transmission. Either they use BVAS or they use manual. So that's, for me, I think that's one thing we need to go and correct. Initially, we used to have the one that will have the incident form. And a lot of politicians were using that. You not capture, then they will say they use incident form, bring a lot of name to print, and then we now came with BVAS. And BVAS was that you must go through the process through BVAS. If you don't, you can't vote. But unfortunately, I think it's not about the money. That money is small. Look, America election, they used about $300 billion.
Wow.
Election is not cheap.
But that's the US.
Election is not cheap.
And that's full electronic voting.
No. Election is not cheap. Just like politics is not cheap. You don't become a politician and you don't have the money to run your political campaign. That is why most people will go in looking for funding from individuals that believe in their cause. You talk about the third force. I'm happy for the third force. But I hope and pray that this is not the end of the third force. We won't hear from them again until two years to the election. There are a lot of undecided votes. And this is the time the third force should rise up and begin to make sure that if it is Labour Party, you know that we all own Labour Party. We all are contributing to the growth of Labour Party. We are not waiting for the next election. A statement was made about the president-elect. He said immediately Buhari was elected for second term as president, he started campaigning from that day.
People are already plotting their graph for 2027. We're here now. So, I mean, it's not just Akalu who said it's my local to be Senate president. So that is to tell you that they're already thinking of, okay, so who should we, who should be going for presidency or not?
A caller have answered Ojus Okalu very well for me, because it was one young man that came to power. It reminds me of a certain young governor. I don't want to mention him. That the youth were so excited that we have a youth in power. At the time,
don't mention Kogi State, please. Don't say that.
At the time, Ojus Okalu came to power in 1999. He was the youngest governor.
He was
the youngest governor. He was an entrepreneur par excellence.
Absolutely.
Everybody was excited that finally a man that knows business will turn around the economy of Abia State. But what we saw, only former President Olusegun Obasanjo can explain better.
Thank you, Mr. Mukhtar Mohammed. All right, let me go back to my messages because there are so many. Phone lines are still buzzing, Lagos. If you're watching us from YouTube and you'd like to chime in into this conversation, you can call our WhatsApp line. It is 0700 903 9039, 0700 903 9039, and the phone line to call is 0700 903 903 903. So this person says, Elupi, all the way, one gone, 35 states to go in future, I guess. We will take Nigeria back from those who have held it at their jugular. Congratulations to the Abians. I'm very proud of you. Congratulations to Alex Otti, Andrew from Ajawo Estate sent in that message. And then this message says, good evening, VOP Miracle from Ago. He says, Ago Palace. I'm excited about the winning of His Excellency Alex Otti. Congratulations to Abia people. Abba will be great again. Aww. Yeah. All right. Good evening, Precious, and evening, VOP. Good evening, Nigerians. Good evening, Abians. I love you, Precious. Finally, my darling LP have a state. You love me because of LP. I'm not an LP member now. He said, finally, my darling LP have a state to set example of good governance. I pray Dr. Alex Otti would never make us feel ashamed in the future or in the nearest future. Thank you. Casey from Oshodi sent in that message. This one now says, good evening, VOP. The real problem here is that the banks do not want the situation to end because they get more revenue from it. Hence, they put the charge on almost every transaction made by POS and mobile transfers. They will consider it good compared to everyone to use their extorting options of all transactions. So it's a big cash out for the banks. The state government should put some pressure actions on the banks in their state so that the banks and CBN branches will pass the heat to the Apex Bank. That's what he said. He said, well done, Precious. Please read my message. Hope you saw it. Maxi from Orele sent that message. Remember I told you this, Mukhtar, that my problem with this policy is the fact that there will be exorbitant charges for people for every transaction I run, because I have to do transfers for the pepper, onion, tomato, everything I'm buying. Each of those transfers I will be paying money.
Exactly.
Is that not over taxation?
No.
Where is that money going to? And this is this not just pure profit to the banks? No. So if the banks are making this much profit now, enabled by the CBN, will the CBN in turn also tax them more?
No. Listen, look at it this way.
Okay. Let me look at it.
If you have to go to the bank, you are going to drive down there, you are going to queue there, and you are going to do your transaction and come out and then drive back again. See, the cost of labor is time. It's only in Nigeria that we don't look at cost of labor with time.
Oh, so we don't value the time.
We don't value the time. Now, those infrastructures are not free. The bank pays a lot. And like I said, the CBN has not come up with a policy where we have shared infrastructure like what you have in developed economy in the world, where they share infrastructures. So that would have reduced the cost on the banks. And then by virtue of that, these charges, these fees will come down. So, look, people are talking about, this guy is talking about the bank. The bank are making more money. The government is also making more money. Remember, for every transaction above 5,000, for every transaction, you pay value-added tax. So that goes to the government. Nobody is talking about the government
stamp
side.
Duty too.
Stamp. We are not even looking at stamp duty. I think stamp duty is quarterly or monthly. I don't. But we are talking about every transaction you go. Look at your. You will all above. You will always pay that 15% VAT to government. It goes, and that is why if you look at the federal the people in charge of tax, forgotten the name. They said they made an increment of about 165% in the month of January.
Oh, they said from VAT alone in Nigeria, they've during the Buhari's tenure of this present tenure has gathered over 10 trillion naira.
I'm talking about the month of January. There was an increment of about 165%.
Oh yes,
that is based on this cashless policy. So nobody is, what we are saying, like I said, that policy also help. Thank God we have a DIG. It will tell you that also will help in the area of security crime. That's why we're in support of it. Remember when that policy came to date, we have seen reduction in area of kidnapping. Yes, we have.
But it has resurfaced again. Insurgency has resurfaced again in the north.
No, you see, insurgency is bare on soft target. The side of insurgency we are seeing, thank God we have a DIG here, we can say more. It's soft target. You go to a market, you bam. It's not that.
The attack in Katsina State recently, sir. The one in Kaduna State recently.
But it's not the kind of kidnapping we used to get, where you get ransom. You know, nobody
they are
talks
looking for
about ransom.
Where are we going to see the ransom to pay?
They are looking for food.
They are just these shenanigans.
Yes.
Okay. So
you could see those people, but like I said, we've addressed those issues, but we need to take it to the next step, which is every economy. There's no economy that is cashless, totally cashless. And there's no economy that has staffed itself. If the US is going through a lot of economic crisis, like during the high energy costs, you know what they do? They pump in more liquidity into the system in terms of social investment to their people. That's when they will start paying. Oh, if you have 3 child, we give you $300. They are pumping more cash into the system.
But we have rather increased interest rate, and that is going to affect a lot of manufacturers and businesses, including people who have existing debts that are servicing. Am I wrong?
No, when it comes to interest rate, you need to look at what are we fighting. We are fighting a monster called inflation. But again, like I said, we don't do copy and paste. Because US is hiking rate doesn't mean you must hike rate. You must look at, you don't treat the sickness. You look at the symptom that create the sickness, so that sickness will not come again. What are the symptoms that is causing inflation? Number one, we have volatility in exchange rates. The manufacturers are not able to assess effects on the government rate, so they go to the parallel market, and they cannot be buying at 750 and now be selling their product less than that. That is the greatest challenge. Then you came with the cashless policy, cash shortage. So every business that is going, like you are complaining, that market woman has impured that charges on you. That look, I'll pay 100 naira, so you will put 150.
That makes me pay more. That means I'm paying more.
So that's what the CBN is not addressing. That's why we are hot. You need to look at that, and then begin to look at what you are doing at the bottom are the people suffering. Because those people that run business, those people that have staff, they don't go to the bank. You don't see them. Their account officer bring that cash to their office, no matter how small. But the ordinary Nigerians, about 100 people, and the person that they are going to give that cash may not have employed more than 20 people, and you have just such 20 people and 100 people that are providing employment for themselves, they are catering for themselves, cannot do their business any longer. The Association of POS Terminal, the leader said, we used to have about 1 million registered POS operators, but at the last time he said 900 of them are out of business. That is 90%. They have added to the unemployment market. And we're looking at the rural area. We're not even looking at the rural area. They are suffering more because this is a sector that is driven by cash. So they are more impoverished now. And yet we have a governor that is coming to apologize over cashless policy. I don't take his apology any longer. You need to do the right thing. You don't just come and apologize and say in matters of days we get that fixed. That was, you remember I said it, that before the introduction of cashless policy, what I expected him to do was to meet with the bank and make sure they improve on their infrastructure.
Well, the banks have now promised that they will do that.
With which fund?
Well, it's in the news.
You know the national. You know that is the settlement, the national bank interbank settlement is run by government. It's a government parastatal under the CBN. So
how do we get out of this circle? What do we do? Because it looks like the ordinary man will keep suffering for a longer time.
Ask Mr. Emefiele.
All right, Lagos, phone lines are still open. Remember that our focus is still Abia State, by the way, just so you don't forget. 0700 903 903 903. This message says, congratulations to Governor-elect. I pray he works for the people of Abia. I'm very happy for them. Now they have new, fresh government. The way he said it, new and fresh.
No, I think he will work for them. He will work for them.
Well, I hope so. Labour Party, Alex Otti's victory is one victory too many. In fact, this victory is more than 20 states governorship victory put together.
I think I tend to agree with them.
That is more than 20 states put together.
It's not in the victory. It's not in, we mustn't, it's not about the party itself, but it's the party. But it's about the will of the people prevailing. That's what people
irrespective of the party.
Irrespective of the party. If you do a free and fair election and you are PDP and you won freely, nobody will complain. Nobody is complaining over Oyo State. The governor won. He's a PDP's governor. He did not win the presidential. Even the APC candidate and others have congratulated him. That to tell the election was free and fair, nobody is going to court. You look at Benue State.
A Reverend Father from opposition.
He won. And the governor have even set up a transitional committee to make sure the people. So it tells you that this was genuine. You look at Zamfara State, a sitting governor was on seat. So when you see, but
can we say the same for Kaduna State? It doesn't look so.
Well, for Kaduna State, I don't. It's neither here nor there. So let's not. I'm talking about states that you are not seeing any protests. That the people have won.
And Plateau State is another thing. Plateau State, there was a lot of jubilation.
Sokoto State, the opposition party won, and the PDP has not gone to court or complain about the results. You see, so when you see where justice prevails, you will celebrate. That's what the people are celebrating, not just because it's Labour Party. It's because the people mandate, the people wishes was not truncated, like what we have in other states, whereby they use everything to intimidate. Nobody is saying, if you have done well, there's an outside that say gafili ga donkey. What it means that we go to the field, let's fight. If you have done well, you will win. Nigerians are not difficult people. This is the first election that I'm saying that people were voting for individuals. Look, if you look at the transition of the presidential election and the governorship election.
I'm glad you're leaving economy and diving straight into politics. I'm excited you're doing this, Mukhtar.
You see, when you look at that transition, you see that you had people that voted for Labour Party in the presidency, or the president, voting for another party during the state governorship election.
That's correct. That's very correct.
You saw people.
In fact, some people voted Labour Party for presidency, but voted Senate for another person, and voted a House of Rep for another person. It was
like that. People were voting for the person. So we need to begin to. It's a pity that most Nigerians. I want to use the word because it's a matter in court. Most Nigerians feel that their wishes were not allowed to come to pass. But we leave it to the court. And those people are going back to the court. But like the man from Imo State said, it's only when you look at the court and you look at the judgment you have gotten, somebody came third and became the governor of Imo State. Fourth. And Imo people are suffering with that today. And the governor is always in Abuja. The Supreme Court governor.
By the way, his party also swept through the entire House of Assembly. Houses.
You and I know. You and I know. You need to look. You see, there's some state election result that you see. You know, it's a charade. Let me give you one. You see,
don't mention my state. Okay, I thought you were going to mention my state.
Ekiti State, where you have all the houses cleared by one party. You go to Osun State. Then go look at Ondo State. You still have pocket of people. Look at what we're talking about Abia State.
Yeah, there's quite a balance. There's quite a balance
from APC
and even YPP.
Even this, I think it's one of the senators representing in one of his. Is a YPP senator.
Yes,
he was voted.
Anambra.
Yeah, Anambra. So you could see, and it's an AGAP state.
An Abia State, yeah, it's true.
So when you see an election that was done properly, you will see Kaduna State. Why it's an issue is The 3 senatorial election was cleared by PDP. The State House of Assembly only have 4 members of APC, and the others are PDP. And all of a sudden now they are the governor. So.
All right, so I'm coming to ask you a question. There is a question, an important question I have, but I have so many messages, so let me pay attention to them briefly, and then I get back to you. So going forward to Agege's message, it says, invaluable thanks to the INEC returning officer in Abia State governorship election. May God bless her and her family beyond human imagination. In Jesus' name, Agege from Agege sent in that message. No, now if you guys are sending me a message, be feeling sorry for me now. This one, you're giving me an encyclopedia. Tony Anele from Ijegamo says, God has done it for Abians by giving them the long sought after dream. This is one of the states where election was won fair and square, and Nigerians will see a new Abia as we are craving for a new Nigeria. You went on and on and on. I'm sorry, I can't take all of that. Let me visit some messages we have on YouTube, because we have quite a number of reactions on YouTube. Onyeka Chuku says, okay, Labour Party is the number 1 now. Paul George says, congratulations to His Excellency Dr. Alex Otti. This is true democracy and reflection of the people's choice, and not the imposition of any party or president on them, or governor on them. Joe M says, American election did not cost 360 billion naira. That's to you, $360 billion. The 2022 federal election in America cost $8.6 billion, and that was the highest so far. The total cost didn't exceed $11 billion. Mukhtar, that was referring to you. Emmanuel says Abia is free. Joe M says Nigerians should be comparing Nigeria to America. We accept mediocrity and America don't. How can you justify the BVAS alone cost 150 billion naira? Okay. He said, I can buy the entire BVAS INEC used for the same place they solve it in China for 150 million naira and return Nigeria to Nigeria. Okay, so what he's trying to say is that the money was spent in the BVAS is actually way beyond its original budget.
But did you get it clear? I wasn't saying that. I was saying that election is expensive. We shouldn't be looking at the monetary aspect.
I had mentioned that technology alone for this election, about 117 billion naira was expended.
All over the world, election is expensive. It's not cheap. Okay. I'm not looking at whether the cost of Viva is the right cost or not. Okay. But if Viva has helped us, nobody will be looking at the cost.
All right, Olayinka Vehamont, I see your message. Thank you. Or your state, it says Rock Nation says congratulations to Abia people, looking forward to Enugu. We're still waiting for Enugu. Hello, good evening. I don't know why they're not announcing Enugu anyway. Hello, good evening to you. Hello, are you there? Hello. All right, going back to the phone line, 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. For those watching us on YouTube, if you'd like to chime into the conversation, call the WhatsApp line. The WhatsApp number is 0700 903 903 9. Hello, good evening. Can you help me turn up the volume of your radio set, please?
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Mr. Moses.
All right, go ahead, sir.
From Barowa.
All right, go ahead, sir. Thank you.
I congratulate the new governor of Abia State. The man has a lot of work to do in Abia State. He has a lot of work to do in Abia State because Abia State during the 1999, the 90s, during Obasanjo regime, Abia State was the center of business. And many people were coming to Abia State. Mostly Abba. It was called the center. It was called the Japan of Africa. Then it was many Cameroon, Abuja, Lagos, Abba to buy their goods that time.
I agree.
So the economy was boosting that time very well. Okay, because there was this set of people. They call them Ohafia Bende Item. They have this business they are doing. They're into industrial sewing this pants, both jeans pants, both singlets. And if you look at it, you see many people coming from Abuja, Cameroon, even from Lagos here. When you come to about mostly Ngwa Road, that is where the main center of the business was. Okay, that time you will see that many people come into Abba. Nobody knew Lagos that time to come to buy anything. So why I say that this man had a lot of work to do, I don't know how you do it. Abba to come back. If you look at Abia is there, I know, but the main people that is getting money that time is these people I'm telling you.
All right, thank you.
Sewing. They are into sewing pants, singlet, and all the people from Abuja here, Lagos here, Cameroon, even from Oron, all come to buy their.
So are you looking forward to him revamping that sector now? Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying that the governor that is coming now, I don't know how he will do it for Abba to come back where what he was before. That's what the area I'm looking at.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much.
He has a lot of work to do. That is what I'm saying.
Thank you. Thank you very much for calling us. We appreciate you. All right, Lagos phone lines are still open. 0700 903 903 903. DIG sir, talking about Alex Otti having so much work to do or a lot of work to do. Let's look at accountability. If the party, Labour Party, is striving on competence, capacity, and character, and in the fact that we have to put people who know how to do the job in the places where the job should be done, how can the masses hold their governors or their elected officials accountable? Because right now, at least Labour Party has one governor. They have senators. They have House of Rep members. They have House of Assembly members. Is it going to be business as usual where they have their people going to the Senate now and maybe they will not change ship to the ruling party and then continue from there? Or is it going to be a situation where they will stick to their party and learn to do the right thing for the good of those who brought them to power? Because we're talking about the will of the people prevailing. What would the people do to ensure that they hold their people accountable? People are saying, oh, if senators go there and change ship and begin to misbehave, we can recall them and all of that. Do you see the people having that will to go through that process of recalling their elected officials?
Thank you very much. I think let us start with the governor, the governor elect. When he has to start by blocking leakages of corruption. Why I'm saying this is that he should study the way Peter Obi handled Anambra State that made him to be a success. He blocked a lot of leakages where a lot of monies are frittered away, and that's why it is very, very important for him to have people that are trusted, that will not betray him, to make sure that these leakages are. He's not only people. He has to put in place checks that will block all these leakages, so that he will have enough money. Like we have said, Abia State is an oil producing state, so they get more money than other southeast states, except I think Abia State and Imo State receive money
because they're the two oil producing states.
They are the two oil producing states, and once he block all those leakages, once he is not going to be implementing any sharing formula of paying money to godfather, somebody that put him there, and he has nobody that put him there. I think he's going to make a lot of achievements because everything is already cut out for him. The problems are already identified, and he has to hit the road. He had to start doing something about it, not even before, not even now, not even waiting for the inauguration day. He has to put everything in place so that as soon as he is sworn in, he gets into action.
So just now that he's got the mandate, he has to start working immediately.
Exactly. He has to start planning.
Mukhtar, do you agree with that?
Exactly. Hit the ground running.
So you think he has to start planning now, just before even?
I think
even before inauguration.
I said that he should have had those plans. He has been trying to be governor for the past 7 years. I mean, there were times that everybody thought he won the last election. All of a sudden, everything happened and everything turned. So he has been there.
It was still this Obingwa local government anyway that was also used the last time.
So he had to hit the ground running. And I want to add to what DIG said. Oil producing state collected 15% derivative. Abia and Imo have not told us how much they collected. You know, it was Wiki that burst the bubble. So, and I hope. But one thing I think I will those DIG and everybody close to Alex Otti should advise him to hit the ground running and start working. And what we've seen is that once you go in there, you try fighting personal battles to say, oh, this former governor was corrupt. You spend a lot of time, 6 months, 7 months, 1 year. You are fighting the battle. You saw that happen in Imo State between the current governor and Rochas Okorocha, and all of today Imo State are suffering from it. I think he should hit the ground running, even if he has to fight those battles to collect those money that he thinks has been shared within against him. But I hope he just hit the ground running while he fight those battles, not putting all its energy. Because what you see is that once these governors enter, they start thinking of second term. They're not even thinking of first term again. They start thinking of second term, and they start fighting anybody that will be a hindrance to their second term without trying to work. And they'll tell you that when we get there in second term, we'll do all the work. Please, I hope he learns from other people's experience and hit the ground running.
All right, going back to the phone lines right away. Hello, good evening. Hello. I do not know what is wrong with the phone lines. Hello, good evening. Can you hear us? All right, so you can call us back 0700 903 903 903. Good evening, precious. Congratulations to us Abians in this great victory. But I pray God upholds him as he can meet the expectation of Abians. I hope all the cashless policy wahala can finally end now. Angela from Olodia Papa is not the one that built the cashless or implemented the cashless policy. Hello, good evening to you. Hello. All right. Going back to the phone lines. All right. So this says, okay, Angela from Olodia Papa took the message. Good evening, precious. Since the inception of democracy in Nigeria in 1999, this is the first time Abia State has a governor that would work for the people of Abia State. May God help him. Yeah. Good evening, precious. And the guests, you can see that the callers are happy today and not abusing anybody cause the election went well. Also, what's the status of Adamawa State? Inconclusive. You were waiting for that? I'll let you know. So INEC has declared that inconclusive at the meantime. I'll bring you details of that. Thank you for your message. Hello, good evening to you. Hello. I don't know what's happening to my phone lines. Hello, good evening. All right, going back to messages. Congratulations to Abians and kudos to Professor Nnenna Otti and the chief returning officer of Abia State for her sincerity and steadfastness in the job that she did. You say your name is Gode, right? And then this message says your guest in the studio said people voted for individuals in these elections, but he did not believe people in Kaduna can vote for PDP. In fact, let me come back to this call. Mukhtar, is you that talking about? So let me take this call. Please help me turn up the volume of the radio sets. Hello?
Okay, good evening. Sorry, I've done that. My name is Kingsley from K2.
Kingsley, you're welcome. Go ahead.
Yeah, the first congratulations must go to the winner of that election is that professor. Because if she did not withstand that thing, we'll wake up this morning and say, okay, it is the will of God that have gone there. With that number that is invisible. That's what they've been doing. I've been in Abba. I just left Abba last year. So that is how they've been doing. So for Alex Otti, the first thing he would do is to make sure those touts are out first. And then when you come to internally generated revenue, do you know that every branded vehicle, and I'm telling you authoritatively, this is not hearsay, but I work with a company that into sales. Every branded vehicle pays 1,000 naira a day for daily tickets, which I don't think it's happened anywhere. So when you multiply
in Abia State,
yes,
branded vehicle,
they do daily tickets.
Well, you see that happened every single in Lagos.
Is that not the case of Agbero in Lagos State?
That's the same thing, but did the money go to the people? No.
So you can investigate that. Then for the bigger vehicle, for the big lorries and everything, it's about 5,000 naira. So if you want to even harness those things, you can see that Abia State internally generated you can enter 1 billion naira in a month. So,
but are they even channeled to the right sources? That's another question.
Okay.
Are those funds, those taxes, as it were, are they channeled to the right sources?
No, that is what you use. They contract this for revenues out to these third parties. Now they can say, okay, for haulage alone, they will say they can give it out for ₦1 million. Now the person that is going to do the drive through this Agbero who can make the #100 million from it. So that is where we have all these leakages. So if somebody like Alex Otti will say, okay, let's channel this fund straight to the government. You see that internally generated revenue, I don't think any state will beat Abia. Go and ask Umahia, Abba, they do what you call daily ticket. In fact, they have even made it electronic so that you can even pay it straight into, but it's not going to government coffers when you check it. So that is just it. It's my state. And the problem of Abia State, I am telling you authoritatively, is Ojo's Okalo. He laid the foundation for this thing. And thank God it has been demystified. So that is just it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And DIG, you're just nodding, so you agree with every single thing he said.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Thank you so much, Kingsley, for calling. We appreciate you. So he says, Mukhtar, someone is saying that why do you believe that people can vote for other people? Well, let me read that message. It says, your guest in the studio said people voted for individuals in this election, but did not believe that people in Kaduna can vote PDP and as House members then vote other party for governorship. Aha.
When I say people voted for individuals, I'm talking about the governorship election. And if you watch the pattern, you realize that most of those states that have high state house of, the members, the party that has the highest state house of assembly member were actually the people that won the state governors elections, especially in the north. So I don't think Kaduna could just be a isolated case. And when you look at, now let's talk about Abia. You are looking at Labour Party 10, PDP 11. You see the closeness. Then look at Kaduna, PDP 14, APC 4.
Oh wow!
Look at what do you call it? The senatorial election. APC, PDP won all the 3 senatorial seats in Kaduna State. Look at the House of Representative election. PDP got 11, APC got 4. So I'm not just talking based on.
Okay, so I do hope that Mukhtar has answered your question. Professor Otti, Alex Otti, no wonder the people will prevail. People will prevail because that. What's the meaning of Otti in the Abians? You say, please, what's the meaning of Otti in the Abians? DIG, sir, would you help us? What's the meaning of Otti? Because they're asking. And good evening, Ma. Well done for the work you're doing in the studio there. Please, what is the outcome of Enugu State election result? Thanks, Chinonso, they are yet to announce Enugu State election. Let's take this call. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, yes, sir. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Gabriel. I'm calling from Ikorodu.
Gabriel, you're welcome. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah, congratulations to Abia citizens and then their new governor. I'm happy that finally Labour Party has gotten a state. And you see, the day presidential election was held, if governorship election had been held the same day, let me tell you, Labour Party would have swept a lot of states. But you see, after that election, they saw what they didn't expect, and that made them to go back and re-strategize. And that was why the outcome is the way it is now. And also, your guest in the studio said something. He said that election costs a lot of money, and that is true. So that's why all the people who made mess of this election should be tried and jailed, honestly. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, let me quickly wrap up with some messages from YouTube here. Congratulations to Abia. Looking forward to Enugu Rock Nation. Samuel Onang says, congratulations to Abia State. You have the best competent capacity. Rock Nation then says, Nigerian governors are too quick to do eye service projects in roads like flyovers, building roads, instead of focusing on healthcare, education, reducing unemployment, and reducing poverty. Alex Otti, be good and do the right thing. Samuel Onang now says, later, your grammar is too... Okay, so lady, your grammar is too much. PDP has destroyed Abia State. Chief Oji Carlo, TA Oji. He said that criminals. Calm down now, please. PDP is gone from Abia State. Ihana Chom Mark Ekbendu says, Otti, Abians looks onto you to make a change. I pray God will help you with that. Okay, that's about it. DIJ, I'd like to get your final thoughts.
Well, my final thoughts is that what Abians were expecting has come to pass. There was a lot of trepidation when there was a lot of delays in calling the results after 16 of the 17 local governments had been read out. But at last, the right thing has been done and the people are happy. Abians should expect good governance because the person that is coming on the saddle is a very well-educated person from the financial sector, and where he made a mark, and he has been consistent in wanting to transform Abia State, having seen what bad governance has wrought on Abia State. The only thing we, for those of us from Abia State, should do is to cooperate with him, because he, with the way things are, I don't think he will disappoint Abia State people.
Thank you so much. And that's the voice of DIG Azubuko Joel Oda Esquire, and he is retired. He's also a lawyer, and he's the chairman of Police Microfinance Bank. Mukhtar Mohammed, do we see an inbuild of the new Japan in Nigeria, in Abba? Is it possible to even bring back those, industries and those?
I'm excited.
Those developments.
I'm excited about Abia State.
Okay.
And I hope 1 year from now we'll visit Abia State and see what is happening.
There is no road, though. The road do not come magically.
No, we're talking about you. You will see tangible progress. I mean, you will need to see tangible progress. Hopefully, 1 year from now, people will be talking about what is happening in Abia State, like people were talking about what's happening in other states when they have good governance. I believe strongly in Alex Otti, and I know with the type of person that he has been, he's not somebody that was forced to become a Labour Party candidate. Nobody forced him. Nobody went to call him and say it's your turn to come and become governor. It shows that he has been prepared for it. I hopefully and prayerfully wish that he hit the ground running.
All right. So you see him living to the expectation of the people, of the will of the people who brought him there.
He doesn't have an option.
All right. Thank you so much, Roxanne. I see your message. It says, indeed, there is new dawn for our land. We all the people and lovers of vision, are happy about this. Thank you so much. And that was the voice of Mukhtar Mohammed, by the way. Mukhtar is one of the finest economists that we have in the country, and financial analysts. Thank you so much, Mukhtar, for stopping by. Thank you, DIG Sir, for stopping by. My name is Precious Enyi, and I do this Monday to Friday from 6:15 p.m. through to 9 p.m. So we'll be doing it again tomorrow. Hopefully we'll be discussing something more important or something else away from the elections, or perhaps more of elections, because by then we would have had Enugu State results, and we'll be dissecting it here too. Just ensure that you keep it real with me. If you want to reach me out on Instagram, I am at Precious Enyi Official on Instagram. Enyi is spelled E-N-Y-I. By the way, it means friend. So that's to say I am Precious, your friend. And of course, I'm willing to be your friend till eternity. On Twitter, I am at Precious_Enyi. I'll see you again tomorrow, Lagos. Have an amazing evening.